What's up, guys? This is Laser Monkey. Welcome back, and welcome to the first episode of How to Get Fast. This is going to be a live series that I'm going to start doing on a somewhat weekly basis. So if you're joining me live, what's up? If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching. Today we're just going to be starting with some 3x3 walkthrough solves. You can see the first scrambles up here, so get scrambling. What's up, AJBN, Sox Gaming, Dustin DeRocher, Cubing is Cubing. What's up, guys? So we're just gonna get started here with some example solves, and then after this, we are going to go right into some Q&A at the end. So stick around. We're gonna do around 10 to 15 example solves, depending on how long this takes. So yeah, let's just get right into it here. All right. And today we're going to be using the Gann SM. So first scramble. So today we're going to be doing fairly advanced level streams, but if you guys leave some feedback in the comment section below, we can work on that a little bit. So for the first scramble, I'm thinking about yellow cross here. Let me just check that I did this scramble correctly. Make sure I get the same case. Okay, so this is not the same scramble. So clearly, I need to work on my scrambling technique. All right, guys, so let me just get my scramble correct here. Okay. There we go. So I'm thinking about doing yellow cross here. So I see that there's a yellow edge here, there's a yellow edge here, a yellow edge here, and a yellow edge here. And I see that when I do an F, which is going to be my first move, it'll bring in my blue edge, and my D edge will be a D2 away. But I also saw this F2L pair in inspection, and I saw that I would want to preserve that with an R2, D2 to solve the back pair, then R prime L to solve these two right cross pieces, and then I'm going to preserve this pair. So we're going to move it out of the way, and then we're going to rotate it, insert it, and then I saw this pair, the orange and blue. So we're just going to insert that, and now I saw this edge was here, and I was tracking this blue and red edge. So let's insert that, and now I see that this edge is actually just a flipped case. So I'm going to do that with edge orientation in mind, and then I'm going to recognize the OLL and PLL skip. Good way to start. Let's move on to the next scramble. All right, these are T-Noodle generated scrambles. They are in the description, of course. All right, white cross only solve next, as requested by Super Slow Cuber in the chat. So we're going to do that. All right, white cross. So the first thing I see is that this one is already a D2 away, and then that this one is lined up to be a D2 away if I do a move there. And I see this pair, and I also see this edge here. So first, I'm going to do an L2, D prime, L prime, D prime to solve these three. And then I'm just going to do an F to solve this pair, and then insert this edge. And I see that this edge right here and this corner, these are going to be really easy to match up. So when I do my rotation, I immediately knew that these were going to match up like this, put them in the back. And then I saw that I was tracking this red-blue edge, and I saw that this one was going to end up opposite. So I just continue into a pairing of this one. And then I knew that all of these were yellow and this was yellow, so I knew this one had to be the correct one. And I see the orange here and the orange here. So when I do my insert, and then boom, and another skip. OLL skip. All right. The SM is fantastic for those of you asking in the chat. And somebody requested yellow cross solve. So I'm just going to do whatever is best here, white or yellow cross. Well, we'll just have to see. All right, so somebody's requesting some slower solves. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to try and do a basic yellow cross here. So I see that this one is already finished and this one is finished. So let's just insert it. And then you can see that this edge here and this edge are in relation to each other in the correct way. So we're just going to do a D prime, FR, and then now our cross is relatively solved, and then we just do a D to finish. Now I saw this pair right here, so we're going to, I'd probably do something like this, rotate and solve it this way, which is not very good, but that's what I would do. And then I saw this pair, which I would probably just solve like this. And then I'd rotate and I'd solve this green-red pair. And then I saw that this pair lined up like this, so I'd probably do something like this. And then OLL, PLL. What cube should you get? I'd recommend the SM. The SM is the best cube in my opinion. All right. Let me just check the picture here. Clearly I do not have the correct picture. Let's redo that. So scrambling on these walkthrough solves, I'm gonna need to be accurate. And if you're watching on the rebroadcast, I'm going to start scheduling these streams about a few hours before I do them. So be sure to tune in live, and of course you can always catch it on the replay. That's not what it looked like either. All right. All right. Okay, there it is. So white cross solve was requested. So we're gonna look at this white cross. I see that this is D2 away. This is gonna be a D2 away after I put it in. And this one is very close to being a D2 away. So I look at all these edges. When you move them into place, they should be these are opposites, right? So I see that this is opposite, and this is opposite. They may not be all inserted yet, but that tells me that they're all a D2 away. So I'll solve my entire cross like this. So I'll solve them all into opposites. And then when I'm solving my last cross edge, I just do a D, put it in, and do a D again, and now I'm solved. So next I would do this F2L pair, and I'd recommend inserting it in the back, because if you insert it in the front like this, then you're going to have a solved thing here, and you need to be looking for unsolved. So you want to put your solved things in the back. So we're going to do something like this. And then I saw that this pair actually got made. So I'm just going to insert that, and I'm tracking this pair. So whenever you see an easy pair, immediately begin tracking your next pair. So I see the red-blue pair, and I'm going to insert it into the back. And then I saw that that edge came out, so I'm just going to insert it. And then OLL, PLL. All right, let's move on to the next one. And if I accidentally skipped a scramble here, guys, I am doing whatever the scramble is on the screen, so just follow that one. All right. Okay, so this is a really nice opportunity to do a double X cross. What you can see here is that this is one move away from making a block here. And then you can also see that this F2L pair is already set up. And when you put this in like this and do an F prime, then this F2L pair can easily be inserted. And then you just made this block. And then I would just seeing it now, I would do this F2L pair, but I'm just going to insert the edge. And then I'm going to do this F2L pair, the green and orange. So take it out and then do it here. And then here, I would try and look ahead to what kind of OLL I'm going to have. And then OLL, PLL. All right, somebody is requesting a green cross. This is an SM. All right. Well, I'm not going to do green cross because my recognition is no good on green. But I guess it might help me. So let's try this. Well, this is going to be a really simple cross. So we're going to put this one in here. We have our edges here, 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 and here. So I'm going to insert these two opposite from each other. And then I just do this. And then insert this green in the back. All right. Let's do some. So I see that this corner is already inserted. So let's just insert it. And then let's insert this one. And then I saw this one, so we're going to insert that. And then I saw this one. And then OLL, PLL. All right, next scramble. So this time I'm going to try and go extremely slow. So what I see here is I see that this one is a D2 away, and then I can solve this into a D2 away, right? So these two are a D2 away. So I solved this, and then I was also looking at this F2L pair, so I'm going to preserve that. So I'm going to, instead of doing an F directly, that'll break up my F2L pair. I want to move it out of the way, put my F2L pair in, and then do something like this. And then this is probably the best solution. And then insert this F2L pair into the back. And I noticed that this was my next F2L pair. So I saw the edge back here. Okay, and then I noticed this green and red. And I found the green and red corner. So notice how I'm looking for the next one. And I already noticed this orange and blue one. So I'm going to track that as I do my green and red. And it looks like it's right there. So let's just insert it into the back and do this not so ideal OLL PLL combination. Shout out to Carl De La Cruz. All right. Next scramble. What are we on? We're on scramble 8. I think we're going to go to about scramble 10, and then we are maybe scramble 15. And then we're going to do some Q&A. All right. Okay, so you can see here that we have all of our edge pieces on the same color, on the same side. So I'm going to solve these all into, my cross pieces are going to be moved one away. So the green is right here, and I can see that the orange is also one move away, but I'm going to do a F2 like this to insert the blue so that my red is already done. All right, and then let's just solve this F2L pair. This F2L pair is already solved, but I didn't see it. So I would just go ahead and do this F2L pair, solve it into the back, and then since I saw that other F2L pair, I would solve it like this into the back, right? And then here I see, so this F2L pair is really easy to recognize. This is a really fast case. So as I'm doing this, I saw this corner and I'm looking for the edge. So as I'm doing it, oh, there's the edge. Now let's immediately try and transition into the next one. All right. Next scramble. So for those of you asking if you memorize F2L the same way as OLL and PLL, I don't. I usually look at some of the algorithms if I'm having trouble figuring out how to do a case. Of course, not anymore, but when I was learning, and then I try and intuitively figure out why it makes sense. So that's what I recommend to all of you. Intuitive F2L is great, but sometimes algorithms can teach you things that you never would have thought of yourself. All right. So I'm going to do a white cross here, and this is the best way I found of solving the cross. So I see that this is solved, and that these three are really easily one move away. All right, so I'm going to solve it like this. Right, now they're all one move away. Then I can just do the D turn. And then I saw this F2L pair. So I'm going to move it out of the way and solve it. And I saw this green and red and green and red. So I'm going to do those as well because they're in the back. All right, and then I saw this orange and green. And I'm looking for the last one now. And I spotted it. It's right here and right here. So instead of doing something like this, that does not orient our edges. So you want to do something like this. All right, and this is definitely a ZBLL that I don't know, but I also don't apparently know the OLL, so I'll have to review that. So note to self, I don't know full OLL. If you guys are having trouble memorizing G-perms, I would recommend just bring it with you everywhere you go. Just try and just drill them over and over again. Maybe you need a new G-perm alg, but the G-perms, yeah, I'll try and make a video about memorizing algorithms next week. But I would just say just keep doing it because repetition is really good technique. All right, next scramble. So I'm going to dedicate the last 10 minutes or so of this, or maybe just 5 minutes, depending on how many questions, to Q&A. So get your questions ready. Don't ask them right now, but I'll tell you guys. All right. So what you can notice here is that this block is one move away from making a 1 by 2 by 2 block. All right. So we're going to use this to make a double, just a single X cross. And I also see this pair. And it's probably not worth preserving. And I'm just making that judgment from experience. Typically when I try and solve stuff like this, it's really difficult, especially because I see that when I do my F here, so I'm going to do an F B prime at the same time to move this one into solved, and this one is going to be a D2 away. And I'm just going to solve this like this. All right, and then we got our X cross, and now we're just going to solve our next pair. So let's solve this, and instead of rotating here and doing it, we're actually going to rotate and insert it from the back. And I saw this pair. This is great. So we're going to insert that right here. Now we have a really ugly case, and there are a lot of ways to do this. In this case, I would probably do something like this. So like this case. It kind of orients some edges. Works pretty well. And then OLPL. All right. So that was 10 I'm going to do one more. So 11 walkthrough solves. So next week, I think I'm going to either make a video about memorizing algorithms or how to improve look ahead. So leave your comments below if you're watching on the replay, or comment in the chat right now. Would you guys prefer the look ahead video or the algorithm memorizing video next week? I'm going to do both, but which one should I do first? All right, so it's really tempting to try and preserve a pair here. I'm not sure if it's worth it. The preserving the pair. So I see that this is one away. One important technique that you have to keep in mind is to always solve your crosses one away or two away, unless it's really obvious to solve them directly into the correct spot. So you can see that I'm solving this entire cross one away. So there are 3 solved one away, and this is very common. You do 3 solved one away, and then you get your last thing here. And I'm gonna do a U2 because I see that if I do this, then my pair is, I mean, I can just do something like this, right? And then insert the next pair. And as I'm doing this pair, since I'm turning so slowly, I'm practicing look ahead, I'm tracking this pair. And since it's really hard, I'm not even going to do it. I'm just going to do this other pair, and now I get myself a slightly easier case. And let's just do the OLL. Nice T-perm to finish off the walkthrough solves today. So, looks like you guys are saying look ahead. So next week, I will be back with look ahead, maybe sooner, but stay tuned. So I'm opening up the room to any questions. I'll be taking questions for a little bit, and then we'll call it a day on today's stream. Video comparison of these 2 cubes might be coming out soon, possibly, or just a review of some sort. I've really been loving the SM, and especially the cubicle SM. So yeah. I would recommend intuitive F2L, but use algorithms. So what I mean by that is that try and intuitively learn F2L, but when you're stuck on a case where you can't find an efficient way to do it, try looking at an algorithm and just going through it very slowly and looking at your cube and seeing how that algorithm is manipulating the cube. And then you might be able to derive from that a new method that you hadn't previously thought of. So yeah. My first sub 10 was a 9, and I remember I got really, really hyped. I was excited for the whole day. How did I get into cubing? I don't really remember. I know speed cubing, I saw some presentation about it at school, and then I went home and I'd actually learned to solve the cube a few years earlier from a DVD. And I went home and I was like, oh, I should get back into this because I was the only person who knew how to solve it. And I looked up and I found the Felix 5.66 and all the speed cubing stuff. And then I got really into it in summer of 2012. ZZCT seems like a really creative method. I'm not too familiar with ZZ, so I don't know if it's actually a good method. In my opinion, it's probably something like ZBLL, where only certain cases are actually useful, and using it as your only method is probably not ideal. Probably using it as part of your other methods. Can I do another chess live stream? Maybe. I'm going to a chess tournament tomorrow, but maybe I can play you guys some chess. Always love to relax and play some chess. All right. So looks like comments are too complicated to answer right now. So I will discuss answers to those questions in upcoming live streams in the next weeks and however long I keep doing this. But I hope you guys really enjoyed the first episode of How to Get Fast 3x3 Walkthrough Solves. This was kind of a test video. This is the first one. I plan on doing some much more like exciting, new, creative content for the next streams. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. This is Laser Monkey. Out.